Hi everyone! So today I'm going to be doing a tier list, but I'm going to be just doing books that I've read from Sanderson. Now I haven't read every single thing that he's written, but I've read a pretty good portion of his books. But like some of the ones I haven't read would be, I haven't read like all of the Arkham Unbounded, so I'm not going to put that in there. I also haven't read his Skyward series. I have them, I just haven't read them yet, so I need to read those. And then another one is I haven't read the last couple Wheel of Time ones that he's written, but I am getting there. I'm close. I'm on book 10, so I will get there. But for the most part, I've read a majority of his books, so I figured it'd be fun to kind of, you can see how I rank them. I haven't thought about this beforehand, so you'll probably hear me just rambling my thoughts on these. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and get started. So let's see. Okay, first up, I'm going to start with one of his other YA series, like he has the Skyward. His other one, the first one I read was the Steelheart series, The Reckoners. This has been years since I've read this, so I don't remember too much about it. I do know, I tried to like glance real quickly about what it's about, and apparently there's like these epics, and they like have all these powers and everything, they're almost like undefeatable, and then the Reckoners are like these groups of just like average like teenagers that are trying to like defeat these epic people because they've kind of destroyed their area. So it's kind of like a apocalyptic kind of read. I liked them. I really did. They're not mentioned much, but I really liked them. So the first one is Steelheart. It's not like a favorite of mine, but like I said, they're still good. I think the first book was probably the best, but this is gonna be hard to rate them with the other ones. So okay, so obviously S tier is really good. I'd probably put them more as like, I'd probably put this as like a B. Because like I said, they're good, but they're not like his best. Okay, so the second one is Firefight. Firefight? Yeah. I don't remember this one as much, but if I don't remember it too well, I probably didn't like it as much. And I think the second book, a lot of times for Sanderson, the second book for me really just isn't my favorite. So I'd probably put this one as like a C. And then same with Calamity. I don't remember the ending too well. I feel like I was just kind of like meh with it. Like I said, I really liked the first one. I do remember that. But I feel like I kind of lost interest with the other ones. Like, it's been years since I've read these, so I hope I'm just going off of that right. Okay, so next one, I'm gonna do Mistborn. So the first one's Final Empire, which I think now they like changed it to just calling it Mistborn, but I'm still calling it Final Empire. That one I loved. I love that one. So I'm probably gonna put that because I like a lot of his other ones too. I don't know if I want to do too many S tiers, but I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, I'm gonna just put it in S. I have to. Final Empire for me was really good. That ending, perfect. Except now that I've read Era 2, kind of diminishes the ending of Final Empire for me. I talked about that in a different video. I was so mad by that one for the reasoning, and I don't want to give spoilers. I did do spoilers on that one. Okay, so the next one is Well of Ascension. Like I said, the second book I tend to just not remember quite as much. I liked this one too, but it was more of like a build-up book. It was more just like, you know, everyone's getting ready for the last book. It's there was a couple weird kind of scenes in there. I think that one's the one where Vin kind of like finds someone that's like her, and he kind of this weird like love interest thing triangle going on for a while. That one's a weird one, and the guy's like nuts. I didn't like that. So I don't know. I'd probably put Well of Ascension on a B tier. I don't know. And then Hero of Ages, I'll put A. Okay, I like that because I liked Hero of Ages, but I didn't like it as much as Final Empire. But Hero of Ages, I liked the ending. I thought everything was well done. I was happy with everything. It was a bittersweet ending. I like books that have more of that bittersweet ending. I enjoy those. Okay, so Era 2. So I'll just go off of those. The first one is Alloy of Law. I liked the first one. Obviously, I didn't like it as much as Era 1. But this one, you know, you get the whole Wax and Wayne story. It's more lighthearted, comedic, whereas Era 1 is more end of the world. The stakes are really high. You have more of like a gang of like misfits and thieves, and you know, they're kind of just running around and everything, whereas Era 2 you get more of like the Western like kind of feel, and I'm gonna follow the law kind of feel, and yeah, so they're completely different to me, but I still liked Alloy of Law. I'll probably put Alloy of Law at A. I didn't like it as much as Hero of Ages though, so that's hard. I know I'm going to rate things higher than I probably will. So there are a couple books that I know are going to be in that D tier for me. I'm sure you probably know which ones they are. So the next one would be Shadows of Self. I liked Shadows of Self. But like I've mentioned before, my biggest complaint, I think, with Era 2 is the fact that, like, the enemy and, like, the plot, they change a lot. It's not really consistent with each other. Whereas, like, Era 1, you get what they're trying to do consistently. You know, they're always fighting these battles. They're trying to, well, the first one, they're mainly just trying to defeat the Lord Ruler. And then the rest of them, you know, they're just essentially cleaning up the mess. You know, all these various armies are coming at them. Whereas, like, Era 2, you have different enemies in each one. I get that you kind of follow that set, but then when you get to the Lost Metal, it just completely changes, and it's almost like this War of Gods kind of thing. I didn't like that. I wish it would have been a little more consistent with who the bad guy was throughout the books. So it makes them feel more individualized other than the characters. But yeah, so Shadows of Self, I liked that one, I did, but I'd probably put it like a B. I mean, it was just, you know, I liked it. Bands of Mourning, I don't think I liked quite as much as Shadows of Self. I just don't like rating these like on an equal level with Era 1. This is hard. This is why I didn't think about these beforehand. Then you can see my struggle of going through this. I want to change them because, like I said, I don't like Era 1 being equal with some of the Era 2 books because for me, they're just worlds apart. 3. I did like how 3 ended. So I'll put that equal with Shadows of Self. I did like how 3 ended. And it should have ended there. But we got Lost Metal. I didn't like Lost Metal. I'm going to put that as C. I mean, I didn't hate it, so that's why I'm not going to put it at D. There was a couple really good scenes in Lost Metal. Like, I really liked the scene of, you know, Wax and Wayne fighting like their doubles. I liked the ending. I'm not going to spoil that. I kind of did I think on my other video. If you want to see that, you can, but I don't want to spoil that for you because it is a good ending. Other than the 6 epilogues, I believe there are. I'm sorry, don't do 6 epilogues, or how many there were. That was ridiculous. By that point, I'm just like, I'm so done with this book. Okay, so Tress. I'm sorry, that's no brainer for me. That's an S tier for me. I loved Tress so much. I want to reread it again. I do. Because now that I have the physical book, I want to read it with all the pictures in there and everything. It was just such a pleasant read. I loved it. I mean, it was just so happy. It was like your classic fantasy story. It was, had a good ending. It had there was just a lot of good moments. And I loved Hoyd. I mean, I like Hoyd in all of the Cosmere books. He's such a great character. I love when he's in there. And I love trying to find him, in the book. But it was really fun getting his point of view. And it was fun watching him struggle under this curse he's on. It was fun. There was a lot of fun moments with him. I always loved that, the curse that he had, he couldn't really, coherently give his thoughts. And so he would think about something, and then he would say something completely outlandish. And he'd be like, what am I doing? It was so funny. I loved those moments. The world is really cool. I like the idea of, the spores and the vines growing, and it was a really unique idea. It's such a unique book. I definitely recommend that one if you haven't read it yet. Totally worth the read. It's just, a standalone book. So much fun. So that one's easily an S tier for me. I could go on with that one all the time. So I'll go with Secret Project number 2. That one goes down there for me. I'm sorry. I did not like this book. I I understand there are people that do, and I'm very glad that people do, because Sanderson is a great storyteller. Even if I don't like the story, I'm glad other people do. I just did not. That was not for me. I'm sorry. You probably, if you've seen my other video, you know I've had some rants about it. So I won't go through that again, but I did not like that book. Wow, I can't get over how extreme, how much I love the one and hated the other. But that's just how it is. I'm hoping Secret Project 3 that it's going to at least, you know, be another favorite, or at least an A or B tier for me, because I'm going to be really sad if it's another D tier for me, because now I'm going to have the physical book coming of this book, and it's like I just don't even want it. But I might like it better if I can see all the pictures. I don't know. We'll see. So moving on from those, Warbreaker. I liked Warbreaker. I did. But it's been years since I've read it. I don't remember it too well. But I just know that I love Vasher in it. He's pretty good. And the sword. I think is it Nightblood, I think? Nightblood might show up in Oathbringer, maybe? Yes. Well, I love the sword. It's hilarious. It's got like its own personality, but the sword is very prominent in Warbreaker. So, I definitely recommend if you want to read the Stormlight Archive, you probably know what sword I'm talking about. It has its own personality. It's just like, let's go kill people today. It's like very optimistic and like very dark, and it's so funny. I love it. Well, anyways, in Warbreaker, you get a lot of the sword, and I've always enjoyed those moments. The story is not quite as like intense as his other books. It doesn't feel like it moves a lot. There's really not like a whole lot going on. I think there is like more of a battle scene at the end. I do remember that a little bit. It's the whole like magic system involves like these breaths and everything. And I will say though, the two characters, so Vasher and oh man, I can't remember the other girl that he's with. It's one of the sisters of the main character. Both of them are actually in the Stormlight Archive. Vasher is the one who trains Adeline and Kaladin at one point. So he is in that. So it's like, I recommend, I mean, even if it's not like a story that maybe you find the most exciting, if you are into the Cosmere, I definitely recommend reading it, because you do get those characters, you get the sword, I mean, you get more of backstory, you get the other magic system and how that works. So it is involved. It is with the Cosmere, and it's closely linked to a lot of the other books. So I definitely recommend it, especially with that in mind. So I need to rate that. And I do want to reread it, because like I said, it's been so long, and I really enjoyed those moments, and I want to read it with having more of the Cosmere in mind, so I can notice all those little details. But I think for the sake of the sword, I want to put it like probably B. But because of the sword, but it's been so long since I read it, I think it might be an A. I don't know. It's either an A or a B for me. I wish I could like go in the middle. But I probably liked it more than Alloy of Law. I don't know. So maybe if I like move that, we'll say that's the order. So if I could like Hero of Ages, Warbreaker, Alloy of Law. Well, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to move Steelheart between these two. Actually, wow, this is hard for me. I'll probably do Steelheart like that. Okay. We'll pretend there's like an order within my order. So we'll go with that. Okay, so now I'm going to get to, I won't do the Stormlight Archive yet. I'm going to do Elantris. Elantris for me, I'm sorry, I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but I love Elantris. For me, that one's a favorite of mine. I have like the fancy edition of it. I love that one. I don't know what it is. I know it's like one of his first books, but I love the uniqueness of the story to me. I mean, it's just like a very pleasant read. For me, it's like a lot like Tress, in my opinion, where it's just like it's like what you think of with fantasy. It's just happy, you know, it's very optimistic, has a good ending. I like it. I really do. I love Elantris. Okay, so going into the Stormlight Archive. Okay, this one, so Way of Kings, that one is an S tier for me. I love Way of Kings. That one sealed the deal with me with Sanderson books. Kaladin, favorite character ever. I mean, I liked his whole story. I liked, you know, the struggle he had, and then just watching him grow as a character too. I mean, and Syl, always, you know, there with him. I just loved everything about it. The fact that he was just always surviving, his Bridge 4 team, how he was able to just make the best of things. And then all the political inner workings with like Dalinar, and it's just, I really enjoyed it. I really did. I loved the world. Roshar is just, it's a really cool world. I like all the little interludes between every once in a while where you get to see a different portion of that world. That's very cool to me. I liked seeing, like, every part of that book just felt so unique. So Words of Radiance. Didn't like that one as much as Way of Kings. I don't... Okay, so I think... I don't want to be too harsh because there was a lot of good moments, but I don't like... I'm going to say her name wrong, but Shalyn, I don't know. I don't like her. I really don't like her. And this is mainly her book, in my mind. And I got so tired of reading about her. Her like personality problems, and she just doesn't know who she wants to be, and I got so tired of her. I know she's a favorite for a lot of people. I just found her very annoying. But you still had some good Kaladin scenes. I think this is the one where Kaladin and Adlin fight, I believe. Like, they fight together. Yes, I did like that. So let's see. A or B? I don't... This is so hard for me. Jeez, I don't... Oh, man. Okay, well, obviously, I liked it better. I liked it better than Outlaw, so I'll put it there. Did I like it better than Warbreaker? Probably. So I'll put it like that. Okay. I got there. Oathbringer. I loved Oathbringer. I liked Oathbringer. Dalinar, this is mainly his book, and I love Dalinar. He's such a great character. So I did like Oathbringer. I will put that... Okay, so if I'm kind of ranking like A, levels of A, I don't know. I mean, these are pretty close together for me. Words of Radiance and Oathbringer. So, obviously I liked Oathbringer more. I just don't think I would put it as a S tier. I mean, because where I have Way of Kings and Elantris and Tress and Final Empire, those for me, there's just really no comparison. I really like those. I could just reread them over and over and over. Whereas a lot of these other books, it's like by the time I'm rereading them, I'm kind of just like, I just want to be done reading it. So that's why I'm kind of rating, I'm very picky about what I'm going to put for S. So that's why with A, I'm happy putting those two there. So, Rhythm of War, I didn't like this one. I didn't. I know a lot of people liked it. I'd probably put it at B, and I'll put Steelheart in the end. Okay, so that's probably how I'd rate that one. But the Rhythm of War, I got really tired of the, okay, I know a lot of people like it because of this, but just, especially with Kaladin, the constant, okay, and I'm starting to see patterns too. Sorry, I keep, talking, in circles. But by this point, I am seeing so many circles of, oh my goodness, I'm so depressed, I can't do anything, I'm failing, and then all of a sudden, towards the end, oh, I said another word, so I'm invincible. And it's just this cycle over and over, and you get, all the characters doing it. Like that Shalyn did it, Kaladin did it. Like, all of them are doing it, and I'm getting really tired of, like, towards the end, they're getting this giant boost of, I can do anything. And then you start over by the next book. And I was getting really tired of seeing that trend. And then Rhythm of War, it just felt so depressing the entire time I was reading. Like, it's a huge book. It's really big. And, like, by the time you're getting through it, you're just like, I'm feeling depressed myself. Because you are just constantly in the heads of these characters of, we're failing, we're losing, I can't, I'm just so traumatized by everything that's gone on. I can't quit thinking about all the negatives. And so as I was reading it, I'm just like, I was constantly just feeling down myself. And I'm like, I'm tired of this. Like, I read fantasy a lot just, for escapism. And it's like, that was not escapism to me. I mean, that was just like, I was feeling depressed myself. I was just like, I can't read like this anymore. So I had to take a lot of breaks with that. It took me a while to finish it just because it was like, I was just getting so tired of the constant depressive atmosphere of that book. There was still a lot of good scenes. There was. But like I said, I got tired of seeing that trend. I got tired of just seeing the constant negativity. So it's still really good. It really is. I love the series. I'm dreading having to reread it. Because I know I'm going to have to read it again for when book 5 comes out. Which is fine. Like I said, they're still really good. They're really enjoyable. I'm going to have to read other books along with it because I can't just sit there and read the constant depressive feel of it over and over. And like I said, I got tired of seeing that same pattern happening. But yeah, I mean, it's still good. There's still a lot of good scenes. I liked, it's Dalinar's wife at that point. I liked her scenes, which that's mainly a lot of her book. I liked her scenes. They were really good. And Dalinar doesn't have that constant depressive, I'm a failure kind of thing going on. So it's nice when you get into his head, you don't have all that. He's actually pretty confident, so I like it. But so I think that's all the ones I've read of his so far. This is probably what I would rate it. I'm pretty happy with this, I think. I don't know if this is exact, but I'm pretty happy with the rating, I think. I don't know. There's maybe a couple I would change. You can see my indecision. And if I reread them, I'd probably change my mind again. It just depends how I feel at the time. But right now, I'm very happy with my S tier. Those are spot on. But yeah, so I mean, if you